What are some of the professions that are slowly dying? Up until a couple years ago I was a cobbler. It was my favorite job I ever had. When I left they shut it down. They also sell shoes and boots there, because it takes quite a long time to teach someone the skills. Sewing machine technicians. The two older gents that service mine are amazing, been doing it most of their lives. They're lovely people and extraordinarily knowledgeable, but they're wanting to retire and there's no one to take on their business. They've tried to find apprentices but no one is interested despite them being in pretty high demand. The precision engineering in my industrial and domestic machines is extraordinary and it makes me so sad that if they go wrong I might never find anyone to fix them. Edit, typo. Printing press repair. One of my friends travels the country repairing presses and is one of only a handful in the industry. I work in radio and it's definitely radio. Photo lab technician. I've worked in a few different photo labs and with the move to digital there really isn't a need for people who work with film. Edit. I should have clarified I was talking about wet labs specifically. I personally haven't seen any new places pop up for developing film and I've lived in big and small cities over the years. I definitely agree with the people saying it's a niche market. I can't see it ever being as popular as it once was and I definitely do see it completely dying out as technology continues to advance at such a fast rate. That being said, I do hope I'm wrong. Working in a lab to this day is the best and most rewarding job I've had. Not sure why you put NSFW, that profession will only die out with humanity itself. Video player repair people. Every single profession who got replaced by an answering machine. If you were stupid enough to call here and waste your time and energy, please press 1. God, I hate these. Artisans of various type. I'm Italian and my country is full of artisans and artists that can't just survive with the income of their product selling. The only few that are surviving are guided by young entrepreneurs that use internet and social media to export abroad. In this way we're losing a lot of traditional workers and works, and here in Italy it's actually a problem. I can't think of the last time I saw a watchmaker workshop. I used to see 2-3 in every town when I was younger. Journalism is on its knees, it failed to adapt in the last 20 years and they're hoping there will be a revival like vinyl. Source. Was a journalist and replaced with free graduates who provided content over quality to get bylines. Bookbinders. I always wanted to become one but it's all done by machines now. Door-to-door salesman, that's why my mom is depressed. Engineering drafting, I've seen my job change from drawing with pencils to becoming a full-time 3D modeling career. It's not a bad thing since the job has changed and no has lost work, but it's sad in the context that drafting is art and the old-school drafting before computers is absolutely beautiful. Shoe shiners. Cobblers. Tailors. The knife sharpener guy that used to drive around neighborhoods sharpening housewives' knives. Door-to-door encyclopedia salesman or vacuum cleaner salesman. Not exactly dying but it's losing its prestige, being a teacher. Journalist. That's not a sarcastic, edgy comment. They are legitimately being replaced by content creators. The advertisements don't even read journalist or reporter 60% of the time. The distinction is important too, because the job of a journalist is to report the truth, whereas a content creator simply matches a brief suited to the publication's biases, alignments and interests. English teaching in Asia. No money in it anymore. Elevator operator. Airline desk attendants who help you reschedule your missed flight. Some airlines now have mobile apps that let you book your own flight and even divert to a different airport. They'll show you which ones are available and your choice will immediately go into their computer system. And chances are if you have a basic knowledge of which airports are where and their transportation options, you'll do a better job than them. Land surveyors. In my state, USA, there were stats put out a few years ago that there were about 2,600 licensed surveyors in the state and about 40% of those were above the age of 60. It's an incredibly important field, but no one talks about it as a career when you're in high school. Depending on which sector you get into, you can make the same amount as civil engineers would but with way more job security. Realtors. They think a lifetime of lobbying for ridiculous laws to make them relevant will protect them now. Their day of reckoning is coming, the industry is ripe for disruption. Telephone sanitizer. Toll booth cash collector. Volkswagen air-cooled mechanics. In my small city, there were 3 shops specializing in him only a few years ago. Now there is only one but not for much longer. He's retiring today. Yes, it's me. Finally free. Machinists. More advanced CNC machinery is being created and becoming more cost-effective each day. can make hundreds of parts in the time it takes someone to make one. Internal medicine, and it's really problematic for people with broad diseases that affect multiple parts of your body. Doctors are increasingly specialized, and it's nearly impossible to find a good internist who isn't beyond swamped. I used to be a hotel concierge. My knowledge of who to see and what to do in our city was replaced with the likes of Google reviews and TripAdvisor. I remember a guest wanting to go somewhere to eat. I suggested an authentic place, which they turned down as Yelp rated it 3 stars. They opted to go to a 5-star one. I had never heard of it. Then came back to complain the restaurant was a £30 taxi each way, as it wasn't in the city and the restaurant was actually a takeaway. But Yelp knows better. Travel agents. As a Red Letter Media fan, sadly I've witnessed time kill off one of the most honorable professions in the world. VCR repairmen, parking lot attendants and toll booth operators. Went to a doctor's office with paid parking the other day and was shocked that the only way out was via an attendant. Feel like it's become one of several options, with machines is the more common option. Regional manager of a small paper company. Scientific glass blowing. I work in a lab that uses tons of custom glass parts for our sampling flasks and analysis racks, and anything that breaks needs to be repaired quickly and precisely. Young people go into glass blowing to make bongs and sculptures and chandeliers, but never the technical stuff. All the scientific glass blowers in my area are 70 plus with health issues and they can't find apprentices. Crazy thing is that you can charge $15,000 for a cannabis film still, and it's only about $2,000 in raw glass parts, so there's a huge untapped market out there. And shipping glass long distance is obviously risky, so we need these guys localized and knowledgeable. Newspaper. Blacksmiths and movie hire places. Radios killed the piano tuning industry. And video killed the radio star. Welders. The average age of most welders today is in the mid to late 50s. Literally everything made out of metal that we use in day-to-day life has crossed paths with a welder before it gets to you, and yet here in the UK we are short of 36,000 welders. The pay is good, but it's a dirty job. Kids just don't want to do it, so when a welder retires it hits a business hard. Society can't function without them though. Any transactional work is being automated, like processing invoices etc. Butchers. Walk into any butcher shop and the owner will likely be a 50-plus-year-old man who's been doing it for 30 years. My guess is many of the ones that stick around are the ones who are able to be passed down to the next generation to be managed. Otherwise, there seems to be a dying interest in getting into the profession among young people. Not to mention more and more people shifting to vegetarianism and veganism etc. Most repairing professions are in trouble, especially repairmen for retail use machines. We are becoming an ever-wasteful society with deliberate departure from right to repair. It seems to me like damn near everyone that requires some kind of manual labor. I own a business and damn near every time I've hired someone to do something at my business, whether it be electrical, plumbing, or HVAC, I end up having to do the job myself because nobody can do what they charge you to do anymore. Middle management. Now people are working from home, there's no need for someone to time the bathroom breaks of lesser employees. Shrubbers. Vacuum salespeople. Accordion players. Druid, rogue dual class. I've been doing DoorDash part-time. Doesn't seem sustainable. I think the delivery apps won't last more than 5 years. The drivers get screwed, the customers get screwed, restaurants get screwed. People commit fraud. I think it will be a ghost kitchens and regular sit-down soon. Cashiers. After this pandemic, ICU nurse, seems like everyone wants to quit. Seems like the car dealer is on a pretty steady decline. I've noticed what seems to be the eradication push since I entered the business in 2017. So many sites like Vroom and Carvana, for example, making a huge push to not even have to go to the dealership. I don't think the salesman will become extinct, but I see numbers being cut.